Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and enjoy this fanfic part 1. Now let's start the fanfic. Kushina Uzumaki Namikaze slowly strokes her pregnant 8-month belly, but her gaze drifts to her girls, all of them her students from time to time. The first is Anko Mitarashi, age 8 and former apprentice of known traitor Orochimaru of Densetsu no Sanin. The second is Hana Inuzuka, age 6 and daughter of her best friend Chu Inuzuka. Third is Kurenai Yuhi, age 8 as well and very proficient in genjutsu. The last is Yugao Azuki, age 8 and her former apprentice in kenjutsu. Sensei, do you know what the gender of your baby will be? Yugao asks, her purple hair gathered in a loose ponytail and her chocolate eyes curious. Kushina rubs her belly with a soft smile. A boy and we're naming him Naruto, she says. Fish cake, Hana says, confusion in her dark eyes and her brown hair in a ponytail as well. No. Maelstrom, and it's the name of the main character in Lord Jiraiya's book, Kushina replies. I bet he'll be handsome like the Yondaime, Anko comments. A twinkle in pupil-less brown eyes and her black-blue hair in a fan ponytail. He might get Lady Kushina's red hair too, Kurenai comments, her black hair free, and Kushina laughs, and looks down into her red eyes. You never know, but girls. I need you to promise me something. Kushina starts and gets their attention. If something happens to me or Minato, promise me you'll protect Naruto, Kushina states, and all of them nod. We promise, Sensei, all them say in unison. However, their pact would be put to the test as Kushina died the night of Naruto's birth. The Kyuubi no Yoko was released upon their village and many were killed, including their beloved Yondaime Hokage, sealing the titanic fox inside their son. The former Sandaime Hiruzen Sarutobi retook the office of Hokage, and a bit of naivety announced Naruto was the Jinchuriki of the said beast. The news was met by rage and hatred for the newborn, forcing the cage to create a law that no one could speak about the Kyuubi, but this would grossly fail. They did their best to keep Naruto safe, but fought against an entire village. Each of them met Naruto at different stages of his life, with Hana being the first, as the 5-year-old blonde brought a small fox kit to her family's clinic. Hana tried to make friends with the cute little blonde and succeeded, but her younger brother ruined it. Next was Yugao, as she was his Anbu guard and protected him from various mobs. The 7-year-old often called her his big sister Neko, but all she do was protect him from afar. Anko and Kurenai were the next to meet the now 10-year-old blonde, after his first day of the academy, but finding him after a group of former graduates and Chunin had brutally assaulted him. The four of them stayed with the blonde until he woke up and begged the Hokage for one of them to take him in, but the older man refused. Over the next 3 years, the 4 Ice Queens, as they were now dubbed, did their best to protect Naruto and putting themselves in a positions to help. Yugao became an Anbu captain, while Hana went into the Hunter Corps. Anko became second in command to Ibiki Morino of the T&I department, with Kurenai becoming the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha. 13 years post-Kyuubi incident. Naruto Uzumaki clutches his head and looks around to find himself in what appeared to be a tomb, where? What happened, he thought. The last thing he remembers were a bunch of civilians and shinobi chasing him for their annual fox hunt. That's right. Someone used a Doton jutsu, but where am I? Naruto says. You find yourself in the tomb of a creature of a bygone era, a voice says, but the tone was raspy. Naruto whips around in fear but see nothing around. Hello. He whispers. Forgive me, but I seem unable to move. So just follow my voice, Naruto Uzumaki, the voice says. Naruto looks around in fear, but bats suddenly swirl around him and he runs towards his right. Good. A little closer, the voice says. Naruto continues to look around in fear. I wish my big sisters were here, he whispers but falls on his butt as moonlight shines into the tomb. There now. You can see me, the voice says. Naruto's blue eyes were wide as opposite him was a severely emaciated man on a stone throne, wearing really old clothes he didn't recognize. Who are you? Naruto says, his tone frightened. The man slowly leans forward to show his face and his haunting steel blue eyes, something that should never see the light of day, but fortune has smiled upon me, he says, leaning back into the shadows. Why? Naruto says. The man raises his left hand and clenches his fist. Fear. Naive people feared my power and locked me away. Quite like you. People hate and fear you too, the man says. Naruto furrows his brow and a scowl forms on his face. Why would you care? He says. I don't, but your thoughts are quite an open book. Why do they hate me? Who are my parents? Why can't they leave me alone? Shall I go on? The man says, making Naruto more upset. Shut up. Naruto shouts and the man gives off a raspy laugh. Sorry, I meant no offense, but what would do if you had those answers? What if you had the power to change things? Get the respect you richly deserve. Explore the feelings you have for your big sisters, the man says, his voice hypnotic. Naruto didn't realize what stood before him, but he slowly nods and the man grins, showing enlarged canine teeth. Good, now come closer. I will give you gift. Power beyond the ages, the man says. Naruto slowly makes his way towards the stone throne but stops as the man raises his right hand, before cutting open his left wrist and thick black blood flows into a small stone bowl. Drink and become my progeny. Just as I was dubbed the No-Life Prince. I shall name thee Naruto Uzumaki. No life, Duke, the man declares. Naruto slowly kneels and picks up the bowl, before drinking down the black blood, but his eyes widen. Naruto drops the bowl and starts to cough violently as it seemed liquid fire was going down his throat, causing him to scream and claw at this throat. Naruto's screams echo through the tomb as his body convulses and slowly changes, his peach skin pales a shade, his ocean blue eyes gain a steely tint as the whites of his eyes turn black as night and back to normal. Naruto continues to writhe on the floor as the man starts to crack, live. Naruto. My new son, he utters, breaking down into ashes. Naruto screams Peter out and he lays motionless, but after a full 10 minutes the blonde slowly rises to his feet. I think the demon fell in here. It is dark. Who wants to go in there? Several voices say. Naruto looks up to the hole with his eyes glowing in the dark and a wide smile forms on his face, enough to split his face. Music. Groove addicts. The beast at our door. On the surface, a mob of about 20 people made of civilians and shinobi were staring at the hole created by a jonin of the group. Damn it, Jiro. Why did you have to use a doton jutsu? One kunoiki shouts. She wears the standard Konoha uniform of a blue long-sleeve shirt, dark blue pants and olive green flak jacket. She has long blonde hair and brown eyes with a chubby face and a mole under her right eye. Uzumaki. I thought I'd catch the demon brat, Jiro snaps. He is a nondescript jonin with the standard Konoha uniform with black hair and eyes. Well, one of you will have to go in there and drag the demon brat out, another says. He has bluish-white hair and a ratty face, wearing a Konoha uniform with chunin vest. Oh, don't worry. You won't have to do all that, a voice hisses and everyone looks around but see no one. Suddenly a civilian screams as his throat was ripped out by something unseen. What was that? Maki shouts. Who the is here? Another shouts. Sadistic but childish laughter echoes around the mob as a thick fog rolls in, Death is here, the voice croons. The ninja in the group whip out their weapons, but several screams erupt as the civilians were pulled into the fog, with snaps and bones breaking as blood pools on the ground. Damn it, someone get rid of this mist, Jiro shouts. A second kunoiki expels a gust of wind and the fog blows away to see the corpses of civilians in pieces, causing her to scream, but suddenly her head falls from her shoulders with a spray of blood. The remaining shinobi look around with frantic eyes. Tinker Tailor. Soldier Sailor. What will you do, Mizuki-sensei? The voice calls out, before a black shadow bum rushes the group. Mizuki looks around as a ninja has his head ripped from his shoulder, then a kunoiki cut in half by the very shadows. Damn it. Kaiten. Gokakyu no Jutsu, Jiro shouts, expelling a jet of flames but only hits Maki, her dying screams filling the area as she rolls around in agony. Oh, too bad. You missed me, the voice mocks. Mizuki pulls a large Fuma shuriken from his back, but his body lurches forward and blood spews from his mouth. Mizuki looks back and his eyes widen to see the bloody form of Naruto, D-Demon B-Brat. He sputters, as Naruto rips his hand out. Guilty, but I am far worse now, Naruto sneers, showing 2 rows of sharp teeth. Jiro and the remaining ninja see Mizuki collapse. Finally showed your true colors, you young brat, Jiro shouts. Naruto says nothing but tilts his head with a blank look on his face. Bored now, he says, and make a fist. Jiro was about to charge Naruto, but the very shadows on the ground bubble and burst through their bodies. Naruto quickly comes down from his high and collapses to his knees, then to his side as all their blood flows towards him, and into his body as his passes out. Music end. Scene break. Anko, Kurenai, Hana and Yugao race through the forests outside Konoha in search of Naruto. Damn it. Why does Hokage-sama allow this to continue? Anko hisses. It doesn't matter. We need to find Naruto, Kurenai says. Hana sniffs the air and her breath hitches. Up ahead. I smell Naruto, but also a lot of blood, she says, with a shaky tone, and all of them pick up speed. The group reaches a small clearing and gasp at over 20 mutilated bodies, but in the center was a motionless Naruto. Naruto! Anko shouts and rushes towards him. She quickly kneels down and turns him on his back to check for a pulse, but doesn't get one in first the few seconds, causing tears to form, but a beat echoes and she quickly picks him. We need to go now. He's fading, Anko shouts and the others gasps, before they all race back to the village. 10 minutes later the 4 were in the hospital with Naruto in Anko's arms. Medic. She shouts. A few med-nin rush to them but see who it is and attempt to turn away, but the combined ki of the 4 was enough to force them to take care of Naruto. I'll get Lord Hokage, Yugao says and vanishes, via leaf shunshin. The others follow the med-nin and wait for some hopefully good news. Scene break. Naruto makes his way through a sewer in ankle-deep blood. Soon his trek reaches a set of iron gates with a paper marked with a seal on it. So my warden graces me with his presence and stinking of the accursed leech, a voice growls. 2 large red eyes with black slits open within the darkness of the cell, causing Naruto's eyes to narrow. QB, Naruto says, and a wide grin forms in the cell. Perceptive little leech, QB hisses. Why do you call me leech? Because of what I am now, Naruto says. Of course. You need blood to survive like a leech, but at least you won't be weak, QB states, revealing himself as a large orange fox with human arms and upper body. Oh, I'm no longer weak. Thanks to those idiots I now have the knowledge of several ninja and their skills. Seems a moment of weakness helped, Naruto says. Don't believe it will help you. Now leave me, leech, QB says. In the waking world, the four ice queens and the Sandaime wait for Naruto to awaken, but the blonde slowly sits up. Naruto-kun, Hiruzen says. Naruto slowly opens his eyes and it gives the older man pause. Hey Gramps. Big sisters, he says. Thank God you're all right, Hiruzen says. When were you gonna tell me I hold the Kyuubi? Naruto says, and Hiruzen freezes, causing the old man to look grim. I'm sorry Naruto-kun, but I wanted to give you a normal childhood but I failed, Hiruzen says, but Anko scoffs. Then why announce his status Lord Third? Anko says. Too many people saw the Kyuubi. I needed to calm the people, Hiruzen explains. Naruto shifts to dangle his legs off the bed. A lot of good it did, and because of it I nearly died, he starts. However, thanks to it, I was reborn, Naruto says, shocking them. Naruto begins to explain the night's events as Mizuki lured him to the mob, how they chased him into the forests outside the village. Jiro opening the tomb and him falling inside, to meeting the no-life prince and becoming the new no-life duke. At the end of the explanation, the five were shocked by the amount of information, but the Sandaime looks even more grim. Naruto-kun, why would you take such a deal? Hiruzen says. Why not Gramps? If I hadn't I would be dead. Now I have power and no one can hurt me anymore, Naruto replies. The blonde could feel the power coursing through his veins, his vision was sharper, his hearing able to hear the heartbeats of his big sisters and Gramps. Suddenly Anko pulls Naruto into her chest and he feels her warmth and scent, which was making him hungry but ignored it. It doesn't matter what you become. We care about you, Anko says. Anko's right. You're our little brother, Hana says, as Kurenai and Yugao nod. Hiruzen could even smile at the sentiment. Listen Naruto-kun. These four have a connection to your parents, he starts. They know my mom but they couldn't tell me her name, Naruto interjects, and Hiruzen sighs, giving the four a look. I see. Well, her name was Kushina Uzumaki, but your father. I cannot tell you per his wishes, but I will tell you. He loved you with all his heart, Hiruzen states, and Naruto slowly nods. So how will Naruto deal with his new changes? Hana says. I'm sure the prisons are filled with people scheduled for execution or some fool trying to kill me, Naruto states. I can't have you strolling through the prisons or killing the villagers, but I will think of something, Hiruzen says. What about the academy? No way he can go back, Anko says. Hiruzen sighs and rubs his forehead. Then there is the council, he says. Tell them it is a Kekkei Genkai. I don't know if this can be passed down to children, but frankly I don't care, Naruto says. 3 years later, Hiruzen sits behind his desk with his gaze of the 16-year-old before him but looks more like 18. He stands about 5 foot 9 inches with a lean but muscular frame, his blonde hair shaved on the sides with the remaining hair slicked back, having several black streaks. After the incident 3 years ago, Hiruzen placed Naruto into the Anbu under Yugao, but he didn't expect that the blonde would adapt to it like a fish in water. Naruto was now an Anbu captain codenamed Kukitsuki or Vampire and his most trusted member. Take off your mask Naruto-kun, Hiruzen says. Naruto pulls down the beaked hood of a black dress uniform jacket, which features an orange lining along the torso with the lower half of the coat forming 2 tails, revealing a pale white mask with no mouth or nose but the left eye covered by a black eye patch and the right socket having a black tear streak. Something wrong Gramps? Naruto asks. His outfit consists of black combat breeches with suspenders into calf-length combat boots, outfitted with several seals. A long sleeve and form-fitting grey shirt that accented his every muscle, over which is a high-collar black but sleeveless uniform jacket with an orange zipper, buttons on the waist and black gloves. I will need you to join a genin team in a month, Hiruzen says, and Naruto frowns, rubbing his neck with his left hand in his pocket. You're demoting me to genin? Naruto asks, but Hiruzen shakes his head. No, you will be a chunin and you won't have to do D ranks either, but I want you look after Sasuke Uchiha and Hinata Hyuga. Sasuke is a flight risk and Hiashi Hyuga wants his daughter protected outside the village. So who better than Kukitsuki, Hiruzen explains. Naruto sighs once again with a look to his father's picture. Alright, but if he shows any signs of running, I'll ask to have him locked up and milked until his balls fall off, he says. Of course, and happy hunting. I know you have a special night planned, Hiruzen says, and Naruto grins, heading to the window. That is true. They'll need to be fed, Naruto says, and hops out the window, bursting into a murder of crows and flying off. Scene break. Naruto arrives at his apartment complex in the heart of the red light district, now owned by him and renovated by him as well. The blonde purchased the building a year after joining Anbu and, thanks to shadow clones, renovated the place to his liking, with one floor as a workout room with a jacuzzi heated by seals, meditation floor, and another 4 floors for rent, with the top floor as his own. Naruto pulls the keys from his pocket and unlocks the door and slips off his boots. Anyone here? Naruto shouts. In the living room, a pair of voices shout. Naruto makes his way inside to find Hana and Kurenai on the sofa, with Hana's Ninken. The Heimaru triplets were there as well. Naruto smiles warmly and takes a seat on the lover seat, and the oldest of the triplets, named Shiro, approaches for scritches. His sister Suki and brother Hiro soon followed. So what did Lord Third want? Kurenai asks. He wants me to join a genin team. A protection detail of Sasuke and Hinata, Naruto explains, and Kurenai frowns. She's become no different than her father now, Kurenai comments, and Suki comes up to comfort her. Don't remind me, both have become very snobbish. Will you still take a team? Naruto asks. Kurenai rubs Suki's head in thought. If you plan to turn us tonight, it wouldn't be prudent, she says, giving him a look. Naruto sheepishly rubs the back of his head. True, and Gramps gave us the go-ahead. So when Yugao and Anko get here, I'll start, he says, and as if on cue, the door opens as Yugao and Anko enter the apartment. Your timing is impeccable. Gramps has given us the green light, Naruto says, and Anko giggles. So we finally get to become vampires with our Naruto, Anko says, and Naruto smirks. We also get to clip the diseased roots from the great tree, Naruto adds. Hana puts her pups into their room and made her way to Naruto's bedroom. The room houses a triple the size 4-poster bed with dark sheets and curtains, bookcase and large closet. Naruto sits on his floor in Caesar as the 4 were kneeling in front of him in a semicircle. Taking this step is taking our relationship to the next level. No longer will we be just siblings. We'll be bonded forever, he starts, and all of them nod. We promised Lady Kushina to protect you. So this is us continuing that promise, Yugao says. Plus we can become lovers properly and help you rebuild the Uzumaki clan, Anko says. Naruto sighs and rolls up his sleeve to cut open his wrist, allowing black-red blood to flow into 4 black goblets. Now drink and become my dark ice queens, Naruto declares. Each slowly picks up the goblets and either black-red liquid, then slowly drink the contents, but as soon as they finish, they drop the goblets and immediately clutch their throats with muffled screams, into convulsions and writhing in pain. Naruto watches with his gaze transfixed on their slowly changing forms, the skin paling a shade for Anko, her curse mark breaking down, and vanishing. Kurenai's red eyes glow brightly and turn to glowing purple but return to normal as the white of her eyes turn black and back to normal as well. The same thing happens to Hana, Anko and Yugao, with small hisses escaping their mouth to reveal their now long canines. The four soon stop moving as Naruto rises off the floor, but the four start to move, setting the gaze on Naruto with hisses of delight. Now then shall we cull the roots, Naruto croons, and all four grin, with glowing purple eyes and gleaming teeth. Unknown location. Danzo Shimura, known as the Shinobi no Yami and Elder of Konoha, makes his way through his underground base of his private Anbu known as Route or NE. The sound of his brown cane clacks along a bridge, but two men appear in front of him in a kneeling position. Lord Danzo. Our sensor reports 5 individuals infiltrating, one says, his name being Fuyamanaka. Do our sensors recognize them? Danzo says. One has a very large chakra pool. It may be the Jinchuriki, the second says, his name is Torunabarame. Danzo grips his cane with a narrowed eye. Has Hiruzen finally decided to make a move, he thought. Have our forces guide the Jinchuriki to me. Secure the other 4. I will use Shisui's eye, Danzo orders, and both vanish. Danzo drops his cane and removes his supposed missing right arm from his robe, revealing 3 golden locks. Hiruzen, you made a critical error, Danzo thought, starting to remove the locks. Several minutes pass and each lock hits the bridge, but footsteps echo, causing Danzo's eye to narrow. Danzo slowly turns as Naruto makes his way out of the shadows with the head of Fu in his hand but missing his right arm. You're arrogant to come here, boy, Danzo says. Perhaps. Interesting tools you have. Their timing was near impeccable. I even lost an arm in the process. Anko will put those nanoscopic insects to good use, Naruto says, dropping Fuu's head, and Danzo's eye narrows. Naruto cracks his knuckles but his eyes narrow, seeing Danzo's right arm full of Sharingan eyes. Sasuke would be livid to learn you possess the eyes of his clan, he says. Danzo doesn't answer and rushes toward Naruto, sending his right arm forward for a punch, but Naruto blocks with his left. The blonde vampire raises his right stump and his arm reforms like a spear through Danzo's head, but he fades away. You can even regrow lost limbs, Danzo says, appearing behind Naruto, but several black chains burst through him and again he fades away. Naruto shifts his gaze to another bridge and sees Danzo standing upside down. Interesting technique, and your mind is sharp too, Danzo, he says. You can even read minds. I see Hiruzen will use you to get rid of me, but it will be I getting rid of him, Danzo says and weaves several signs, stopping at dog. Futon, Shinkugyoku, Danzo says, breathing out several blasts of wind. Naruto dodges as the wind bullets tear through the bridge, but Danzo dodges his strike, landing on the partially destroyed bridge. A loud bang echoes and Danzo gasps as a red spot forms on his chest but yet again fades away. Naruto lands on the spot with a smoking cold peacemaker in his right hand but jerks as both his arms are severed by shuriken coated in wind blades. Danzo appears with Shunshin and grabs Naruto by the throat, but his severed right arm moves and fires into Danzo's face, clipping off part of his jaw. Danzo staggers back with a wide eye as Naruto rams his reground left arm through his chest. It is useless, boy, Danzo says, now behind Naruto but at a distance. Naruto. I may have figured out his technique, a voice says. Danzo jerks as he now finds himself bound by rose thorns that form a tree. I commend you for catching me in a genjutsu, but it is still a far cry from an Uchiha. Kurenai Yuhi, he says, but his brow creases. This is not my normal genjutsu. I found Yakumo Kurama in your clutches. Monster, Kurenai says, emerging from the rose thorn tree. Why do you care? You abandoned the girl out fear of her power running rampant. Tools are meant to be used, not wasting away, Danzo says. Kurenai grits her teeth as her fangs lengthen past her bloodstained lips. You turned her in one of your mindless drones, she shouts. Kurenai, stop. Naruto shouts, but she slices off Danzo's head. Kurenai gasps as Danzo fades away. What? She says. Danzo has a jutsu that allows him overcome death, Naruto says. Futon, Shinku Renpa, Danzo shouts, cutting through both Kurenai and Naruto. Kurenai losing her right arm and deeply cutting into her chest, while Naruto's back is cut open, but he grabs Kurenai and vanishes to put her on another bridge. Futon, Shinkugen, Danzo says, and creates a scimitar of wind with his kunai. I cannot keep wasting Izanagi on him. I will need to use Shisui's eye, Danzo thought, seeing Naruto drop down in front of him. The blonde holds up his left arm and the hilt of a sword emerges from his arm, before slowly pulling out a guard-less chokuto from his arm. Prepare yourself, Danzo, Naruto says, and both charge one another. Danzo pulls the bandage from his right eye and aims his weapon with his left as both blades pierce their chests and out their backs. No boy. Become my tool, Danzo shouts, as the eye shifts to 4-point pinwheel. Several seconds tick by as Danzo looks Naruto in the eye, but the blonde's face was shadowed, causing a slight smirk to form on his face, but it morphs to shock. Kanji started to scroll across Danzo's body and he could feel his chakra being drained. What? Danzo shouts. Ha ha ha. Your arrogance is your undoing, Danzo, Naruto says. Danzo spits up some blood with gritted teeth. Why didn't Kotoamatsukami work? He hisses. Naruto grins wide as his eyes bleed red with black slits. Oh, it came close, but Kyuubi hates to be someone's pet, he sneers and opens his mouth wide. You tried to make me your dog. Well, your dog food, Naruto says and bites into Danzo's throat. The shadow of Konoha screams in pain as Naruto gorges on his life blood. No. Is this my end? Beaten by a petulant child, he thought. Naruto's body gurgle and slowly pulls Danzo's body into his own. I'll have to ask Tenzo on how to use the Mokuton, he thought. Anko, Hana, Yugao and Kurenai leap down with the latter still healing from her injuries. Are you alright, Kurenai? Naruto asks. Yes, and I'm sorry for falling for Danzo's tactics, Kurenai says. Naruto waves his hand with a shake of his head. It's nothing. Anything of note? He asks. Nope. We killed everyone here and any young children. We got 'em out with clones, Hana says. Naruto creates a dozen clones, sweep Danzo's office and seal off the areas, he orders, and all of them vanish. So a orgy now, Anko says, and Naruto sighs, shaking his head with a small laugh. Yeah. We need to work of all this adrenaline, Naruto says, and all of them grin. Naruto makes his way through the village with blue-tinted sunglasses over his eyes. Some villagers still recognize him and shoot him dark looks. The blonde is wearing blue jeans and black harness boots, a white dress shirt, black suit vest, and a long coat with 3 tails. He arrives at his destination of Ichiraku Ramen. Hello, Ayami. 5 miso ramen, Naruto says. Ayami smiles with a nod. Dad. 5 miso, she shouts. So how are things going? Ayami asks. Naruto lifts his sunglasses with a sigh. Things are well. I gotta join a genin team soon. The old man wants me to interact with people my own age, he muses. Will you be okay with your Ayami asks, as Chuki brings a bowl of ramen. One should be fine, Naruto says and starts on his first bowl, then his remaining 4 in quick succession. An Anbu with the designation of Kame appears behind Naruto. Hokage-sama wishes to see you, he says and vanishes. Naruto sighs and reaches in his suit vest to put some money on the table. See ya Ayami. Old man, he says and slips his glasses back on, before vanishing with Shunshin. Naruto arrives at the Hokage Tower and makes his way up to Hiruzen's office, finding the older man hard at work or rather reading a certain orange book. You wanted to see me Gramps, Naruto says. Hiruzen quickly puts his book away and clear his throat. Yes. I take it things went well, he asks. Naruto reaches into his coat and pulls out a silver case. Opening it, he pulls out a black cigarette and lights it with a silver Zippo. It did. That bastard had a right arm full of Sharingan and cells of Lord First. Naruto starts and Hiruzen's breath hitches. Damn you Danzo, Hiruzen whispers and beckons for Naruto to continue. He even had the eye of Shisui Uchiha. Which is now mine. Along with all his knowledge, Naruto says and pulls out a scroll from a seal on his glove. Inside is all of Danzo's dealings and it runs deep, Naruto adds. Hiruzen takes the scroll with a serious look. How long before they can return to active duty, he asks. About a month or 2. I'm keeping them confined to the apartment. I know this will interfere with Kurenai taking a Genin team, Naruto says, but Hiruzen waves his hand. I planned for that eventuality. Genma will take her place as sensei of Team 8 for the time being. You'll be on the newest iteration of Team 7, Hiruzen explains. The door opens as the 2 remaining elders of Konoha Homura Mitokado and Koharu Utatane enter with semi-serious looks on their face. Hiruzen, we need to speak with you, Koharu says, sending a look to Naruto. Naruto tips down his sunglasses into a bow. By your leave Lord Third, he says, excusing himself. You give that boy too much freedom, Homura says. Hiruzen leans back in his chair but grabs his pipe. In what regard? He is a capable Anbu captain and near S-rank shinobi, he says. Putting that aside, that accursed bloodline of his, Koharu says, and Hiruzen snorts. It is only accursed because he refuses to give it to those on the council that want it for themselves. You should know Naruto has turned Kurenai Yuhi, Yugao Azuki, Hana Inuzuka and Anko Mitarashi. The 4 also agreed to be his wives once the council eventually calls for the CRA when I announce his full heritage, Hiruzen says. What? Koharu says. Whether you like it or not. Naruto is the son of Minato and Kushina. I caved to the pressure of the council but no longer, Hiruzen says, and both elders say nothing as they head to the door. You should be the first to know, but Danzo is dead, Hiruzen adds, but both say nothing, their eyes widening in shock. Scene break. Naruto lands with a kick-up of dust and his hands pocketed. Why do you keep coming here? Kyubi says. Naruto makes his way towards a familiar stone throne. I was reborn here. He gave me the power to change and become powerful, he muses, blowing a stream of smoke. You picked up some of his nasty habits, Kyubi says, and Naruto chuckles. Not like it will kill me, Naruto says, tapping some ashes. Why did you keep information from the old man? Kyubi says. Naruto looks up at the hole from 6 years ago. I may be loyal to him, but I am not completely beholden to him. If he dies in Orochimaru's ill-conceived invasion, then I'll leave and take my queens with me, he says. Konoha would not let you leave. You're the son of their beloved 4th Hokage and my jailer. They would hunt you to the ends of the earth, Kyubi says. Perhaps, but I am stronger than them. I can use the 8 gates without dying. I have all of Danzo's knowledge and Konoha's dark dealings. I even have Kotoa Matsukami, Naruto says, and Kyubi chuckles darkly. It's a shame I can't be freed. I would enjoy watching as this village get their comeuppance, Kyubi says. There is a way for that to happen, Naruto says, and Kyubi roars. I refuse to become a part of you, leech. No more than I am, Kyubi roars. Naruto rubs his right ear with a smirk. Right, he says. Flashback, 2 years ago. Naruto stands before the gate of the Kyubi and the Titanic fox glares. You intend to set me free, Kyubi says. Naruto rolls his neck several times. Yes. I have no need for you, he says. The blood rises under Naruto and lifts him towards the seal, allowing him to start to pull it down, but a hand grabs his own. Naruto's eyes narrow as he and the man drop down in front of the gate. 4th Hokage. Kyubi roars. Hello, father, Naruto says. Minato stares at his son but glances to Kyubi. Naruto, he starts, but the blonde punches him in the stomach, doubling Minato over. That is for choosing the village over your own son, Naruto says. Minato falls to one knee with a cough. I deserve that, but I wanted to keep the balance of the villages and I had no time to contemplate, he says, getting to his feet. Naruto sighs and glances to Kyubi. Regardless. Your actions made my life a living hell. So much I had throw away my humanity, he says. I know. I saw everything through the seal. I didn't think such a being existed, Minato says. Then thanks to becoming a vampire, I can release the Kyubi from the seal, Naruto says. That may be true, but the Death Reaper seal links your souls. The Kyubi would have been free the moment your heart stopped. He should have been set free but wasn't, Minato explains. Kyubi roars in a rage with a look to Naruto. Then I am forever linked to this leech. He roars. Schrodinger's cat, Naruto says, confusing both Minato and Kyubi. It's something I learned from becoming a vampire. It's basically saying Kyubi is technically both dead and alive. Thanks to you splitting him in half, Naruto says. Minato frowns with a look to his son, Naruto. I can't stop you from tearing off the seal, but I urge you to not to. Because you will need his power, he says, and Naruto furrows his brow. Minato reaches out and touches Naruto's head, causing a rush of memories to flow into Naruto's head. I believe this man will return and you need all the power to stop him, Minato says. Naruto clenches his left fist, but someone hugs him from behind and his breath hitches, causing him to look back. Kushina! Exclamation mark quote. Minato says but sees the seal partially ripped. Naruto stays stock still as Kushina hugs him, when he partially broke the seal. My chakra manifested, she whispers. Naruto touches his mother's arm with a look to his father. My life hasn't been the best. I've suffered for years, but despite all that, I have people who care about me. I also know my parents loved and died to protect me, he whispers. Kushina sniffles softly and pulls away from Naruto with a look to Minato. Oh, our love reached him, she whispers. It did. Naruto, our time is at end, but no, we love you and are proud of you. No matter what you choose to do, Minato says and hugs Naruto. I'll make you proud, Naruto says, as Minato fades away. Naruto. I will give you something, Kushina says and touches Naruto's cheek, causing her to glow, and Naruto gasps. Goodbye, my dear child. Live well, Kushina says, and she fades away as well. End flashback. Naruto covers his eyes as red tears run down his cheeks and sniffles with a sigh and leaps out of the tomb. Naruto weaves several signs and closes the tomb, but his eyes narrow, glancing back to a kneeling NE operative. She has short, straight black hair and dark eyes with translucent-looking pale skin. Have you assembled all the other operatives, Sai? Naruto says. Yes, Lord Naruto, but will Hokage-sama accept your choices? Sai says. She wears a short black and gray jacket with red straps, a high-collar midriff shirt, black pants, shinobi sandals, and gloves with her index and thumb fingers exposed. I am loyal to him and NE will be loyal to me. Gramps still needs a force like NE for now. However, if he doesn't accept it, I will take your souls as my own, Naruto says, and a clone pops to life next to him. Take this clone and indoctrinate the members, Naruto orders, and Sai nods, with both vanishing. Hey, you're quite dark, little leech, Kyuubi says. Naruto looks at the sky with a sigh. Maybe, but both light and dark is needed to survive in this world. I should head back, he says, and vanishes with a slight flash. Scene break. Anko stretches like a cat on a sofa, wearing on a pair of booty shorts and a white sports bra. She makes a fist and her right arm turns completely purple. Man, this will take some getting used to, Anko muses. I agree, I can create genjutsu so real. I can trick someone into death, Kurenai says, sitting on a lover seat with a ruefully expression on her face. She wears a pair of tights and a thin sweater. Naruto did say, we would gain the abilities of those we devour, Hana comments, wearing shorts and a bra. I gained several new kenjutsu styles, Yugao says, wearing a similar outfit to Anko and cleaning her sword. Well, the only good thing that's come out of this is I don't have that bastard's mark anymore, Anko says but smirks. Well, another good thing, Anko adds, and all of them giggle. But we'll need stay here for a while. I can't even keep the triplets around me or see my mom, Hana comments. Your bloodlust is still too strong. I don't want you accidentally killing someone, Naruto says, appearing from the floor and slips off his coat. The blonde slips off his boots and take a seat in a recliner. My clone should be finished with the remains of NE, Naruto says. Have you told the Hokage? Kurenai asks, but Naruto shakes his head. Not yet, but I will tell him later, Naruto says. So what will need to learn? Anko asks. Naruto cups his chin in thought. Not much. Transforming, telepathy, shapeshifting and the like. We got a month or so to do it, he says, and all four of them nod. 1 month later, Konoha Academy. Iruka Umino, head instructor of the academy, looks over his notes but shifts his gaze to the current graduating class made up in part of children from great clans of Konoha. The Aburame, Akamaiki, Hyuga, Inuzuka, Nara, Uchiha and Yamanaka. Alright everyone, calm down, Iruka starts. He has brown hair in a ponytail with a scar across the bridge of his nose, wearing the standard Konoha uniform but with a chunin flak vest. Today you become proud genin of Konoha. I have enjoyed being your teacher, but the time has come for us to part. Now I will announce your respective genin cells. Which is as follows. Iruka starts and goes over the first 6 teams. Team 7 comprised of Rookie of the Year and Kunoiki of the Year. Sasuke Uchiha and Hinata Hyuga. Your sensei is Kakashi Hatake, and Iruka says, but his breath hitches. Who Iruka sensei? Hinata asks. She has long dark blue hair in a Harem cut and a fair complexion with her clan's signature featureless white eyes but with a lavender tint. Iruka clears his throat. Sorry. Your third teammate is Chunin Naruto Uzumaki, he says, and several murmur. The Dobe. Didn't he die or something? Sasuke says. He has black eyes and spiky black hair with a blue tint, with hair framing his face. No, I survived. A Jonin took pity on me and I became proper shinobi, a voice says. Iruka looks to the door and sees Naruto in the doorway with a Chunin vest on with his high-tie 8 around his neck. And Naruto, he says. He is wearing black combat pants into knee-length boots, a sleeveless, dark blue uniform jacket with an white zipper and buttons on the waist. Under which a long-sleeve mesh shirt and white gloves with a dark blue palm. Good to see you, Chunin Yumino. I'll take my team and meet our sensei, Naruto says, adjusting his sunglasses. Iruka clears his throat once again. Allow me to finish team placements, he says, and Naruto nods. Alright, where was I? Oh, Team 8 is comprised of Kiba Inuzuka, Sakura Haruno and Shino Aburame. Your temporary sensei is Genma Shiranui due to the illness of Kurenai Yuhi. Team 9 is still in circulation, and lastly TEAM 10 is comprised of Choji Akamaiki, Ino Yamanaka and Shikaku Nara. Your sensei is Asuma Sarutobi, Iruka finishes. Naruto lifts his sunglasses to his forehead. Well, may they go now, he asks. Yes. Sasuke. Hinata follow Naruto, Iruka says, and the pair rise from their seats. Several of Sasuke's fangirls glare at Hinata but also Naruto for being on Sasuke's team. Why is he on Sasuke-kun's team? Sakura screeches but Iruka tells her to be quiet. Our sensei is notorious for being late but I know where he is, Naruto comments, leading the pair out of the academy. Where have you been, Naruto? You simply vanished 3 years ago, Hinata says. Naruto tips his sunglasses down as the sun rains down on him. As I said. A Jonin took pity on me and trained me outside the village. Because of it I was able to become a genin and now a chunin, he explains. HN. Then it must be easy to become a chunin if you did, Sasuke says, and Naruto silently growls, baring his teeth. Perhaps. You will see, Naruto says, leading them to the memorial stone, and there was their sensei. Kakashi Hatake turns with his silver hair oriented to right and his visible right eye turning into an eye smile. Oh, it seems my team Kane got me, he says, wearing the standard Konoha uniform. Well, you're always late, senpai. So I took a preemptive strike, Naruto says, moving his glasses down and winking. Oh. Well, let's start with introduction. I'm Kakashi Hatake. I like many things and dislike some things. My goals are something you're not ready for. Now, princess, Kakashi says. Hinata Hyuga and heiress of the Hyuga clan. I like cinnamon buns. Training and my sister. I dislike fools and weakness. My goal is grow my clan's greatness, Hinata says. Blondie next, then Mr. Brooding, Kakashi says. Naruto sighs and rolls his neck. Naruto Uzumaki. Likes are vague. Dislikes too many to count, and goals. Well, that is none of your concern, Naruto says. Sasuke Uchiha. I like things and dislike things. My goal. No. Ambition is kill a certain man and restore my clan's honor, Sasuke says. Kakashi gives another eye smile. You many different goals. Well, since Naruto is a chunin, it wouldn't be valid to use the traditional genin test. So we'll meet tomorrow at 7, he says. 7 or 10, Naruto asks. 7, Kakashi says and vanishes with leaf shunshin. Sasuke says nothing and leaves as Hinata stares at Naruto. You've changed, Naruto. You've become paler and give off this air of a predator, she says. Times change, Hinata. I'm no longer the happy idiot of our group, Naruto says and adjusts his glasses. I need to meet with someone. Excuse me, he says and vanishes. Hinata looks to the memorial stone with a blank look. I will find out your secrets, Naruto. You are to be my tool after all, she thought. Inuzuka compound. Chum stares at the son of her best friend and master of her daughter. How is Hana? She asks, after drinking some vodka provided by Naruto. The blonde pours himself his own drink and downs it with one gulp. Hana is good. She's finally able to be around the triplets with no issues, Naruto explains. That's good. So becoming like you is agreeable to her, Chum asks, and Naruto slowly nods, reaching in his cargo pocket and tossing a scroll to Chum. That is a marriage contract. I bet Gramps will announce my heritage soon. So that is preemptive move, Naruto says. Chum opens the scroll and it was signed by Naruto and Hana. Well, looks, I'll have to name Kiba as heir, she says, and he mutters a sorry, but Chum laughs. Don't worry about it, pup. Hana always idolized Kushina, and having her marry her son forever links me with my best friend, Chum says. I wish I would have grown up with her, Naruto muses, and Kyuubi huffs. Kushina would have killed anyone who harmed you, Chum says, and starts on several stories about Kushina in their younger days. Naruto sits enraptured by Chum's stories, that he doesn't notice Kiba entering with his puppy Akamaru. What the hell are you doing here? Kiba shouts. Naruto glances to see Kiba and Akamaru. Nothing, dog breath. I'm interested in a Ninken, Naruto says. How's your team assignment, pup? Chum interjects and Kiba scoffs, ignoring Naruto. I'm stuck on a team with Sasuke's #1 fangirl and Shino. Our sensei is some guy named Genma, but temporarily as our other sensei is sick, Kiba explains. So she doesn't drain you dry, Chum and Naruto thought. Well, I should be going, Lady Chum, Naruto says and snaps fingers. Sorry you to Akamaru, he says, excusing himself, and Kiba glares at him. Naruto leaves the Inuzuka compound and makes his way to the Forest of Death, then to the northeastern sector of the forest. The blonde lands in a small clearing and looks around, but a small blur slams into his leg and it is a medium-sized fox. It has gray and black fur with a little white on the tip of her tail. Naruto kneels down and ruffles her head. Hello, Suki, he says, and Suki yips a few times. Naruto pulls out a scroll of his pocket and unseals some beef jerky for her, causing her yip a few more times, and from the tree line emerge 3 small fox kits and a male fox. Oh, you're a mama now. Congrats, Naruto says. The 4 new foxes were weary of Naruto but slowly approach, with the kits going for the jerky. They must smell me on you, Kyuubi says, and Naruto mentally nods. Suki sits in Naruto's lap as the male watches the kits eat, but Naruto rubs his head. You'll need a name too. The kits as well, he muses and thought for a moment. How about Hoshi for star, Naruto says, and the male yips in agreement, causing Naruto to smile. Now for the kits. How about Hono for fire? Kori for ice and Tsuchi for earth, Naruto muses and Suki yips, licking his cheek, and Naruto laughs. Naruto continues to play with the fox family and soon they run off, causing Naruto to look up and see Hiruzen looking down. Thanks. If people knew foxes were living here, Naruto says, and Hiruzen drops down. I know, Naruto. So tell me, when will you tell me some of any still exists? Hiruzen says, smoking his pipe. Naruto gets to his feet and dusts off his rear. We can use them. They are loyal to me with Shisui's eye. They can do things normal Anbu can't, he says. Hiruzen thought for a moment, and Naruto did indeed have a point. Alright, but I want to see them face to face. How was team placements, he says. Kakashi chose to forego the Genin exams. Naruto starts and Hiruzen nods. Understandable. The bell test doesn't work with only two, Hiruzen muses. Sasuke is arrogant. He believes becoming a chunin is easy if someone like me can become one. Hinata is guarded and sees me as her tool, Naruto explains. Sasuke will rue that statement and Hinata's thoughts are worrying. Hiashi hasn't not been an ideal father, but for her to see you as tool, Hiruzen says. She may know my status and sees me as a means to oust her father, or I'm a bid to her freedom, Naruto comments. Keep a watch on her. Now I will call a council meeting in 2 weeks' time, but only the shinobi half. Your evidence will allow me to purge the civilian portion as well, Hiruzen says, and Naruto nods. I will have my queens ready. Will you announce things to the village? Naruto says. I will do it for the chunin exams. Also Jiraiya will be coming as well, Hiruzen says, and Naruto frowns. He's in for a rude awakening. Regardless, what will you have me do? I can't very well participate, Naruto says. Hiruzen relights his pipe with a look to the sky. I have a plan, but I need to confirm some information first, he says, and Naruto nods, as the older man vanishes with Leaf Shunshin. Crafty old man, Kyuubi says, and Naruto scoffs, vanishing. Next day, Memorial Stone. Kakashi stares at the memorial stone with a rueful look on his face. Sensei, I've failed your son, he whispers. The former student of the 4th Hokage often came here to lament on his failures, losing Obito, the Death Rin, Minato and Kushina, lastly the failure of protecting their son. I thought you said 7 senpai, a voice says, and Kakashi turns to see Naruto, causing him to rub the back of his neck. Mama. It's only 8. Where are you teammates? Kakashi asks. The training ground. I came here first because I dislike being awake so early, Naruto says, adjusting his sunglasses. Kakashi waves his hand to say sorry as Naruto lifts his glasses to rub his eyes. So how will this work? Lord Third said I wouldn't have to do D ranks, Naruto says. Well, you will supervise them or a clone. We'll also do team building exercises as well. It'll be a few months before they'll be ready for a serious mission, Kakashi explains. That's fine. So how are things between you and Tenzo, or Kano, or whatever she calls herself now? Naruto says. Kakashi sputters a bit with a wide eye. Nothing, and she goes by Yamato now. Why? He asks. I need to go see her about the Mokuton. I'm curious, so let's go, senpai, Naruto says, and Kakashi narrows his eye. Go ask Lord Third, the blonde adds, as they make their way to training ground number 7. The last loyal Uchiha and Princess of the Hyuga were waiting the pair, with the former glaring at both. Sorry I'm late, but Naruto came find me, Kakashi says. Hinata rises to her feet and dusts off her navy blue shorts. Naruto did say you were notoriously late, she says. Her remaining outfit consists of a light lavender, sleeveless kimono-style blouse with vertical lines, tied with a dark purple obi, fingerless arm-length gloves, thigh-high stockings and black high-heel kunoichi boots. Kakashi gives the pair an eye smile. All right, before we take our first mission, I would like to do a friendly spar. You both will be facing Naruto. That way I can gauge your skill sets. Now Hinata, can you use the Juken without your Byakugan? He says, and the heiress nods. Alright Sasuke, you will go first, Kakashi says. Sasuke makes no sound and locks eyes with the blonde. His uniform consists of a navy blue, short-sleeve shirt with a high collar, white cargo shorts, and white arm warmers with bandages around his legs into blue sandals. Naruto slips off his sunglasses and slips them into his vest, and rolls his neck a few times as he shifts into a loose stance. Sasuke levels a serious look to Naruto's blank look, before lowering his stance and firing off several shuriken. Naruto quickly dodges to the right, but Sasuke appears behind the blonde, forcing him to block a high spin kick. He has decent speed and maneuverability, Kakashi thought. Naruto uses the momentum of Sasuke's kick to push himself back into a skid, but Sasuke closes the gap into a flurry of strikes. Naruto blocks evenly and cleanly as Sasuke starts to get frustrated, giving Kakashi an insight in their skill sets. Naruto is goading Sasuke and forcing errors, Kakashi thought. Hinata narrows her eyes as Naruto moves with grace and inhuman fluidity. I wonder who taught him, she thought. How is the Dobe this strong? Sasuke thought, leaping back with a glare on his face. Naruto smirks at Sasuke, but his blue eyes widen as Sasuke spams several signs and stops at Tiger, Kaiten, Gokakyu no Jutsu. Sasuke declares, firing a large fireball towards Naruto. Oi, this isn't a full contact spar, Kakashi shouts, as the fireball hits Naruto. Sasuke scoffs with a look to the burning pile, but only a log remains. He's a chunin. He should be able to handle that, he says, but jerks. Naruto grabs Sasuke in a rear choke and the last Uchiha feels the world start to dim. You're right, Naruto says and abruptly lets Sasuke go, pushing him forward. Sasuke quickly grabs a kunai to attack Naruto, but Kakashi gets in his path. Enough. This was supposed to be a spar. Not an all-out fight, but I did get some inclination on your skills, Kakashi says. Hinata. Your turn, Kakashi adds. Naruto rubs both his arms as Hinata steps forward and slips into her family's Juken. Hinata edges forward, but Naruto makes the first move with a whistling left straight, forcing Hinata to quickly parry and counter. Naruto blocks the strike with his right palm and quickly parries her left palm. Impressive, Hinata, but you seem rigid in your stance, he says, causing her eyes to narrow. Hinata unleashes a barrage of strikes with chakra exploding with each block, but she couldn't tell if his tenketsu points were being closed. How dare he look at me with those eyes, Hinata thought, but gasps, feeling her center of gravity moving as Naruto moves his foot behind her leg and knocking her off balance. Hinata corrects as Naruto sends a right straight but stops at her nose. Yield, he says. That's enough, Kakashi says, and Naruto moves back. All right, I have rough understanding. Hinata, you excel at your clan's taijutsu, but I feel you are a bit linear in your moves. Sasuke, you let your anger get the better of you. For now we'll work on your shortcomings. Now let's head to the mission hall, Kakashi adds. I'll meet you later, senpai, Naruto says and vanishes. He will not be doing missions with us, Hinata asks, as they leave the training ground. Yes, but he won't be needed for D ranks. We'll meet him later for more training, Kakashi states. Team 7 soon reached the mission hall as the Sandaime and Iruka were sitting at a desk. RTEAM 7. Here for you first mission, Iruka says. Yes. Any particular missions, Kakashi says. Iruka looks through the missions, and the more the pair heard, the more upset they got, or rather one of them got upset. Where is Naruto? Iruka says. On another mission. I have authorized Naruto to not take D rank's mission. He's handling certain things for me, Hiruzen says. Forest of Death. Naruto lands in a clearing as a female Anbu with the designation of Tiger lands behind him. Thank you for meeting with me, Tenzo. Kano, he says. Tiger removes her mask to reveal a roundish face with long brown hair and black, almond-shaped eyes. I go by Yamato now, Tiger says, with a look on her face, and Naruto looks away. Right, Yamato. Did Lord Third explain things? Naruto says. He did. Thanks to your bloodline. You acquired the Mokuton from Danzo and the Sharingan, Yamato explains and Naruto nods. The blonde closes his right eye and opens it to reveal a blue Sharingan, causing Yamato's eyes to narrow. Why is it blue? Yamato asks. My bloodline assimilated it to my body, Naruto explains, and Yamato cups her chin in thought. Well, alright. I can use the jutsu and your Sharingan should be able to copy it, Yamato explains, and Naruto slowly nods. Yamato starts with several signs and stops on snake, Mokuton, Daijuran no Jutsu, she says, creating several wooden stakes from her arm. Naruto performs the signs and recreates the same jutsu, but his tree bark were black. Interesting, Naruto comments. Indeed, Yamato says, and starts on several more jutsu. Naruto learned to use the wood locking wall, wood clone, four-pillar prison and house, tree bind, flourishing burial, and nativity of a sea of trees. It doesn't compare to Shodime Sama, Yamato comments. Naruto rolls his neck several times. I doubt anyone could, he says, and cleans his sunglasses. So how are things with Kakashi? Naruto asks, and Yamato gives him a look. You could scare even Madara Uchiha with that face, he adds. Then do not ask about things that do not concern you, Yamato says, and Naruto raises his arms in defeat. Right, Tiger Senpai, Naruto says. It would be best if you didn't reveal your additions to the general public. It could cause a disaster, Yamato explains, and Naruto nods. Indeed. If any of the more unscrupulous members of the council learned I or my brood possess the ability to gain bloodlines, it could reach certain ears, Naruto says. Yamato slips her tiger mask back on. I would agree. See me in a month to test, she says, and vanishes, using leaf shunshin. Naruto holds up his glasses and they shift into his Anbu mask. It is not wise to spy on people, he says, slipping it on. From behind the tree emerges a young man with ash-gray hair, onyx eyes hidden behind black-rimmed circular glasses. I apologize. I was searching for herbs, the person says, but Naruto snorts. Cut the crap, Kabuto. I know who you are. You've been watching the entire time. My senses are inhuman, Naruto says, and Kabuto smirks, adjusting his glasses. Nothing escapes the sight of the infamous Kukutsuki, Kabuto says. Naruto appears behind him. No, it doesn't. I have even Danzo's memories. So I know all your secrets and his dealings with a certain snake, he says, and Kabuto freezes, but the blonde vampire titters. Tell him everything. Anko and I will enjoy ripping his soul apart. Now run along, spy, Naruto croons and bursts into a murder of crows. Kabuto feels a bead of sweat run down his forehead as his eyes were hidden by his glasses. This complicates things, he thought, vanishing as well. 2 weeks later, Konoha Council Room. Hiruzen sits with his pipe in his mouth as the members of the council arrive, starting with the clan heads that includes Choza Akamaiki, Shikaku Nara, Inoiki Yamanaka, Chu Minazuka, and Yashihyuga. Homura and Koharu soon arrive with the Anbu commander known as Dragon, wearing the standard Anbu attire but adding a black hooded cloak with white hair visible. I call this council meeting to order to discuss certain matters, Hiruzen starts. What matters, Sandaime Sama? Inoiki asks. Hiruzen looks to Homura and Koharu. Kukutsuki has found evidence that Danzo was a traitor, he starts, and the room goes silent. Was, Choza asks, and Hiruzen nods. Kukutsuki executed him and nearly all of his supposedly defunct NE. What members remained have sworn allegiance to him and myself, Hiruzen adds. This is disconcerting. Danzo has always been a hardliner, but to betray the village he loved, Shikaku says. True, but Danzo chose to betray Konoha in a misguided bid to retain the Hokage seat, and for it he paid with his life. So will his co-conspirators once they are rooted out, Hiruzen says and clears his throat. The next bit of business concerns Kukitsuki, or you all know him as Naruto Uzumaki. Hiruzen starts and snaps his fingers, as the doors open and Naruto enters. The blonde vampire wears a pair of black trousers with 3 buttons securing some material around the knees, along with knee-length boots having a small heel. A blood-red dress shirt with a black suit vest, having a chain pocket watch accessory, and completing the outfit with a black tie, and white gloves. Shit. If Hana didn't mark him as her alpha. Hell I would, Tsume thought, and Naruto smiles, winking slightly, and the older woman smirks. Once the Chunin exam finals begin, I will reveal Naruto-kun's true heritage. Too long has this village dishonored his parents' sacrifice. I caved to pressure years ago, but no longer, Hiruzen says. Revealing his heritage could cause civil unrest. Perhaps easing out this information. Our enemies could use this, paint Konoha in a bad light, Koharu says. Then let them. Konoha is not the same place my parents died for. The people and ninja have grown lazy and need a wake-up call, Naruto says, and Homura shoots him a look. I hate to say it, but I agree with Naruto. Minato wanted his son to be seen as a hero, and we all cowed to fear. Lying to ourselves and allowing the son of our Yondaime to be treated as something not human, Inoiki says. Both Homura and Koharu wanted to rebuke those words, but without Danzo to back them they couldn't. Will the CRA be used on him? Hiashi comments. Naruto looks to the Hyuga patriarch and snaps his fingers, as the doors open once again. Anko, Kurenai, Hana and Yugao enter, with all of them dressed in fitted dark blue jeans, that accent their legs, thighs, and boots with a heel. White dress shirts with black buttons and black ties of various lengths, completing the outfit with black high-collar coats akin to capes with red inner linings. Shikaku was the first to notice that all of them were deathly pale and the glint in their eyes. You passed your bloodline to them, he says. Indeed I did. These 4 made a promise to my mother and agreed to become my mates and wives. That counts as 4 of 6, Naruto explains. That's right, Lady Kushina asked us to protect her son. So we did as best we could, and now we're his wives. Mind, Anko starts, her eyes turning a glowing purple. Body, Hana continues, her eyes glowing as well. And soul, Kurenai and Yugao finish, with glowing eyes. It seems they answered your question, Hiashi-sama, Dragon comments, their voice male and female. Hiruzen coughs to steer their attention back to him. Yes. Naruto-kun is betrothed to the 4 of them and will take his position as member of the Shinobi Council, he says. We can't agree to that. He doesn't deserve to be on the council. If you allow him, then Sasuke-sama should be on the council as well, Koharu says. Who is a wet behind the ears genin? While I am an Anbu captain and have 4 wives, Naruto comments. One of my best, Dragon adds. Regardless of your feelings on the matter, Naruto-kun is now member of the council. Now what is spoken in this room is to stay in this room. If this leaks, I will send Naruto and his Ice Queens after you, Hiruzen states, causing the 5 vampires to grin to get the point across. Hiruzen dismisses the council and tosses a photo towards Naruto of a young girl with red hair and eyes. Her name is Karen, Hiruzen starts. Naruto picks up the photo and looks to Hiruzen. She lives in Kasagakure and she is an Uzumaki, Hiruzen adds, and Naruto's eyes widen. Hiruzen lights his pipe and takes a small pull. I needed to confirm the information. She is currently a civilian, but Kusa plans to draft her as a ninja, he says. Naruto was perched in a tree outside the village of Kasagakure with his Anbu mask on and a telescope to his visible eye. Over the past week he split time observing his fellow Uzumaki and killing bandits. Karen lives in the southern portion of the village but away from most of the populace. It took all his willpower not to raise the village as he watched Kusa Ninja drag Karen out of her home and return her hours later, looking exhausted and near catatonic. He sent clones in disguise, learning Karen would be taken to the hospital and her unique skill used to heal anyone in need. The doctors were lazy and decadent as they had Karen to use as a tool. You know that the monkey is doing this to keep you in the village, Kyubi states. Naruto retracts his telescope and slips into his vest. Of course I know that. He knows if he dies or steps down as Hokage and the new cage isn't cordial to me, I'll vanish. So he's trying to keep me rooted by retrieving Karen, he thought. The blonde vanishes into a murder of crows and reforms some ways away from the village with his evidence. Halt! A gruff voice shouts. Naruto points to his high-tie 8 around his neck. I am here on behalf of Konoha. I need to speak with your leader, he says. The guard, a large man with a black hair and tanned skin, scoffs. Ha! You're here with no word. Beat it, kid, he sneers. Either tell him I am here or run the risk losing of our alliance, Naruto says, leaking some of his ki. The guard gulps and allows Naruto through, but the blonde senses several ninja now on him. People give weary stares and give him a wide berth as he makes his way to the leader's building, small compared to the Hokage Tower. Oi, you're trespassing in Kusa, kid, another guard says, holding a spear. He is nondescript man with brown hair and eyes, wearing Anbu armor. Naruto lifts his glasses to his forehead. Look, I am here on business with your leader. I am ambassador from Konoha, he says. The guard TSKS and leads Naruto to the office of their leader Zosui. So Konoha sends children ambassador, the guard says. I'm old enough, Naruto says, and the guard scoffs, opening the door. Zosui-sama. Some ambassador from Konoha, the guard says. Zosui is a fair-skinned man, with black hair combed back and reaches a shoulder length, gray pupil-less eyes, dark brown-gray kimono-like shirt with cream outlines, black pants, a white robe tied around his waist, black socks, and black sandals. What does the great Konoha want? Zosui says. Naruto reaches in vest and tosses his evidence on the table. Kusa is housing a member of the Uzumaki clan, and I on behalf of the Uzumaki and Konoha have come to substantiate rumors of her mistreatment, he says. That is absurd. Guards, arrest this brat. He's trespassing. Konoha will pay dearly for this affront, Zosui shouts, but Naruto unleashes some his ki, freezing the guard. Aberrant living conditions. Mistreatment and abduction by your shinobi. Sarai Naruto Uzumaki have come to take her into my custody, and if you deny this, Naruto says and tosses the scroll to Zosui. He opens the scroll and reads the contents. Along with the evidence before him, he gnashes his teeth. Go get the Uzumaki, Zosui barks and the guard bows. How dare Konoha threaten Kusa, Zosui hisses. Naruto tilts his head with his arms behind his back. How dare Kusa treat a member of my clan in such a manner, he shot back. Before Zosui could retort, the guard returns with Karen, who was looking both angry and afraid. You sent for me, Zosui-sama, Karen asks, but sees Naruto. The blonde turns on his heels and bows to Karen. Hello, Karen. I am Naruto Uzumaki and I am here to take you into Konohagakure's custody, he says, shocking her. Why, I haven't committed a crime, Karen says. Naruto glances back to Zosui with slight disgust. No, you didn't. Konohagakure learned of your mistreatment and sent me the head of the Uzumaki clan to take you into custody, he explains. But I'm a citizen of Kusa, Karen says, but could see the anger wafting off of Zosui. Be that as it may. Zosui has more than enough evidence of your treatment, and if he knows what is good for him, he'll release you into my care and the remains of your mother as well, Naruto states. Karen shoots Zosui a dirty look. They burned my mom. I have her ashes at home, she says. If you're done talking, take her and get out of my village, Zosui shouts, slamming his fist on the desk. Naruto tips his glasses down with barely a bow to Zosui and turns to Karen. Let's get your belongings and be on our way, he says, keenly aware of a small snake hiding under the desk. Unknown location. The dreaded snake Sanin Orochimaru sits upon a throne as one of his snake summons dispels with a message, Kukuku. So Naruto-kun has come to claim his kinsman, he muses. Fetch me Gurren, Orochimaru orders, and one of his minions scurries off. A few minutes pass and a young woman enters the throne room. You sent for me, Orochimaru-sama, she says. She has fair skin, dark eyes and light blue hair in a spiky ponytail with long strands of hair framing her face. Yes, I did, Gurren. I have a mission for you. You are to head to the Kusa fire border and intercept 2 people. I want them both alive. They are valuable test subjects, Orochimaru explains. Gurren bows at the waist and Orochimaru rises from his throne to hand her 2 photos. The names are Naruto and Karen Uzumaki. The former is the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Do not underestimate him, he says. I will not, Orochimaru-sama, Gurren says and excuses herself. Orochimaru returns to his throne and closes his eyes but opens them as another one of his snakes arrives with a scroll. The Sannin takes the scroll to read Kabuto's report, and by the end of it he could only cackle in anger and gleefulness. Naruto-kun, you have so many secrets. It seems I sent poor Gurren to her death, Orochimaru says, to no one. Orochimaru leaves his throne room towards one of his projects, seeing his vaunted Sound 4 training prisoners or troops for the coming invasion. Kidomaru, Orochimaru thought. He has dark skin with black, shaggy hair tied into a ponytail and black eyes along with 6 arms. Sakan, Orochimaru continues. He has fair skin and straight, dark blue hair with what appears to be a second head on his right shoulder. Jirobo, Orochimaru adds. He is the largest of the 4 with fair skin and narrowed, slanted orange eyes and 3 tufts of orange hair on his head. And lastly Tayuya, Orochimaru finishes. She is the lone female of the 4 with fair skin with brown eyes and long, untamed, dark pink hair. The Sannin continues towards to one his labs, and on one of the slabs is a young man hooked to several devices. Kimimaro, I will soon have need of you, Orochimaru thought. Kimimaro has pale skin, vivid green eyes, angular facial features, 2 scarlet dots on his forehead and shoulder-length white hair. Indeed I will if Kabuto's report is true, Orochimaru thought. Scene break. In Kusa, Naruto and Karen make their way towards the Fire Country border, and the trip was made up of small talk between the pair. Will the Hokage want me to be a kunoichi? Karen asks. If that is your choice. Do you want to become a ninja? Naruto replies. Karen adjusts her glasses in thought. I don't know, but I want to be able to defend myself, she says. You can become a medical ninja, Naruto states, and Karen slowly nods. The pair continue at a civilian pace, but Karen narrows her eyes. Naruto. I sense several people following us, she says. I know, Naruto says, and a smokeless clone comes to life, before kneeling. Get on his back and he'll take you to the border. I'll catch up, Naruto says, and Karen slowly nods, getting on the clone's back, and they vanish. Naruto pulls his guard-less Chokuto from the seal on his wrist as several masked ninja appear around him. Kusa is very foolish to send people after Karen. Did Zosui assume I was just a chunin? He says, as his glasses shift to his Anbu mask. The Kusa Anbu quickly go on guard as Naruto's visible eye starts to glow brightly. A little advice. When faced with an enemy of overwhelming strength. Breath as one. Link your breathing with your body and soul. Then come together and attack as one. Naruto says, shouting at the end. The Anbu leaps towards Naruto with their swords aimed to pierce him from all sides. Futon. Senpu no ha, Naruto thought, swinging his Chokuto. Blood, parts and bodies rain down around Naruto as his mask partially shifts to his sunglasses with a trail of blood running his face. Do that and you may survive, Naruto muses, licking the blood from his face, but his eyes narrow. Naruto vanishes as sharp blue crystals erupt from the ground in a long path, but at the beginning of the path with her hand on the ground was Gurren. Are you from Kusa? Naruto says, seemingly everywhere. Gurren rises to her full height with a look around. Where is the girl? She says. Naruto drops down like a feather in front of her without his mask on. Yet you claim to not be from Kusa, he says, but his eyes narrow and a smirk forms. The snake, Naruto adds, and Gurren glares, quickly weaving signs and stopping at Ram. Shoten, Shuriken Ranbu, Gurren shouts, creating crystal shuriken. Naruto swings his Chokuto in every direction to block and shatters the shuriken. Gurren flashes more signs and stops at Snake, Shoten, Sushoto, she says, creating blue crystal blades on her forearms and charges Naruto. The pair quickly engage in an elegant dance of death, but one of Gurren's blade shatters as Naruto's sword hums with Raiten. Gurren narrowly dodges a strike from Naruto, but her cheek opens up as she leaps back. How dare you cut my face? Gurren shouts, but her eyes widen, as Naruto licks some of the blood from his blade. Gurren quickly flashes several more signs and stops at Ram, Shoten, Hasho Karyu, she shouts, creating a crystal Chinese dragon. Naruto smirks and shoots forward as the dragon does the same. Futon, Kazakiri, he shouts, shattering the dragon, but wasn't done as several cuts erupt on Gurren's body. She staggers back with wide eyes and locks eyes with Naruto's blue Sharingan, and only darkness meets her. Naruto sheathes his sword and approaches the unconscious Gurren, a rare bloodline. I think I'll keep her a secret for now, he says, and pulls a scroll from his cargo pocket. Naruto proceeds to seal Gurren into a stasis prisoner scroll, then vanishes with a flash to catch up with his clone and Karen. Konoha, 2 days later. Karen stands next to Naruto as the blonde explains things to the Sandaime. Kusa will more than likely put me in their bingo book, Naruto says. Hiruzen leans back in his chair with his pipe in his mouth. It was bound to happen. Unofficially Kukitsuki is in there, but now you would be officially. Regardless, your mission was successful, he says, and shifts his gaze Karen. Now Karen-chan, do you wish to become a shinobi of Konoha or remain a civilian? Hiruzen asks. Karen shifts her weight between her feet in thought. Can I think about it, Hokage-sama? She says. Hiruzen gives a grandfatherly smile to Karen with a nod. For now you will be living with Naruto-kun. Unless you wish a place of your own, he says. She can have one of my apartments. They're pretty big and have all the amenities, Naruto comments. You own your own apartment? Karen asks, and Hiruzen chuckles. He owns the whole complex. Up until 3 years ago. Naruto-kun has not had the best life, Hiruzen states, with a lamenting tone. Naruto told me about things, Karen says, and Hiruzen shoots the blonde a look. All right. You two are excused, Hiruzen says, and both nod, bowing at the waist. Karen and Naruto make their way out of the tower and through the village. So the sun really isn't a problem for you, Karen asks. Naruto adjusts his sunglasses with a raise of his hand and moves it so motion. I can take it, but it's annoying. I didn't have to babysit my team. I would sleep to the afternoon, he muses. The pair soon reach Naruto's complex in the red light district and make their way to the top floor. Looks like no one is up, Naruto says, taking off his boots. Karen takes off her sandals and follow Naruto to the living room, taking a seat on the recliner. The apartments below have the same setup with 2 bedrooms. Full kitchen and bathroom. They are below the dojo and pool floors. Both floors are soundproof with seals as well, Naruto explains, sitting on the sofa. The pair continue to make small talk as Naruto recounts his younger days and Karen does the same. When did you get back, Naruto? Kurenai says, with a small yawn and wearing a large t-shirt. Karen gawks at Kurenai's ethereal beauty and looks to Naruto. Not long ago, and this is Karen, he says. Sorry about the clothes, Karen. I am Kurenai Yuhi, Kurenai says. Karen adjusts her glasses and shakes Kurenai's hand. Nice to meet you. We didn't wake you guys up, she says, but Kurenai waves her hand. Not at all. Our rooms are sound and sunproof. So you know what we are, Kurenai says, looking to her blonde. Naruto told me some things. He wanted me prepared, Karen replies, and Kurenai slowly nods, but the redhead blushes. You're not underneath that, Karen asks, and Kurenai giggles, lifting the shirt to show a pair of jean shorts, and a red bra. I'm not that immodest. Now Anko or Hana on the other hand, Kurenai says, and Naruto snorts, getting to his feet. Can you show Karen to one of the lower apartments? I need to take care of something. Oh, we're having dinner at 6 too. You can meet the others, Naruto says and vanishes, with a seamless shunshin. Scene break. Gurren awakes with a start and find herself in a cell. Where am I? She thought, but sees the bandages on her body. Finally awake, Gurren hears and she sees Naruto standing with his arms folded. The left hand of Orochimaru gnashes her teeth and calls on her chakra but finds she can't use any. Don't bother. I sealed your chakra, Naruto says, slipping a lollipop into his mouth. Let me out, you bastard. Do you know who I am? Gurren shouts. One of Orochimaru's pets. You should be grateful I kept you alive. I could have drained you dry and enslaved your soul as one of my familiars, Naruto says, and Gurren's breath hitches. Ho ho. You were sent in blind. Meaning Kabuto didn't get to tell Orochimaru everything about me, Naruto says and grabs the side of his lips, pulling wide. Gurren's eyes slowly widen at the 2 rows of razor-sharp teeth. What stands before you is Naruto Uzumaki, also known as Kukitsuki, but more importantly no life Duke, Naruto states, after letting go of the sides of his mouth. Orochimaru-sama will come for me and dissect you, monster, Gurren shouts. Shadows cover Naruto's face to leave only a wide smile and his glowing blue eyes. Oh, keep telling yourself that. For now you'll be fed and cleaned. You have enough chakra to function, he says and turns to leave but stops. Oh, try to escape and your heart will explode and I'll just eat your corpse, Naruto says, walking off and laughing. Naruto walks through the remains of NEHQ but stops as Sai appears before him. Make sure she stays alive. I would hate to lose her, he says. Yes, Naruto-sama, Sai states. Anything of note? Naruto asks and Sai nods her head. Yes. Hanzo the salamander no longer rules Omegacore. Sai starts and Naruto narrows his eyes, urging her to continue. We would have sent operatives, but the village's rain is laden with chakra. We would have been discovered. Sai finishes but gasps as Naruto lifts her chin to look him in the eye. Good work. Keep doing such a good job and I will let one my queens reward you. I also need a detail on Homura and Koharu. Sooner or later they'll dare, Naruto says and Sai nods, before the blonde breaks down into a murder of crows. Naruto appears on top his father's stone head with his upper body hidden in darkness as several crows fly away. Why didn't you kill that woman? Kyuubi asks. Why indeed? For fun. The sport of fighting her again. Perhaps adding her to my menagerie, but that doesn't feel right. Unlike my queens, she has no connection to me. Hell, it might have been just a whim, Naruto muses, leaping from the stone head. Naruto reappear in the village for a casual walk until dinner. Where have you been, Narubaka? A voice screeches. Naruto rubs his ears and turns to see Sakura with Ino. Why? He says, blankly. Because you're on Sasuke-kun's team, Sakura says. Don't you two hate each other? Naruto says, pointing between them. Don't change the subject. Sasuke-kun can't take higher missions without his full team, Ino says. He won't until Senpai feels he's ready. He's only been a genin for a short time. At most a few months before anything high rank, Naruto says. But Sasuke-kun needs to avenge his clan, Sakura shouts and Naruto waves his hand. Itachi murdered his clan when he was younger than Sasuke is now. You think he can win against that without his precious Sharingan? Naruto shot, making Sakura and Ino angry. What do you know? You're a clanless orphan, Ino shot, but Naruto snorts, with a small laugh. Actually, I'm not. I'm from the Uzumaki clan. You ever notice the red spiral on the backs of Chunin and Jonin vests? They wear that in honor of my deceased clan, Naruto explains and smirks, so I'm not so different from Sasuke, he adds. Then why did no one know? Ino counters. My parents were famous ninja. Gramps thought I couldn't handle the news and up until 3 years ago I would agree with him, Naruto replies. That still doesn't change the fact that you're weaker than Sasuke-kun, Sakura snaps. Naruto sighs and rubs his forehead with a small groan, for someone so smart. You are stupid. I am a chunin. I busted my for 3 years to get this far. I'm sure your sensei can tell you how hard the Chunin exams are, he states and turns on his heels. I'm done talking. However, I will give a word of advice. Sasuke doesn't want weak women. So you would do well to get stronger, Naruto adds and vanishes. Naruto appears back at his apartment complex. Well, that ruined my walk, he thought, reaching his apartment and could hear voices. Naruto finds Karen talking to his queens as luckily Anko and Hana were presentable. So what does everyone want for dinner? No dango, he says, before Anko could say anything. Whatever you think is quick, Kurenai says and Naruto nods. So did you find the apartment to your liking? Naruto asks. Karen slowly nods as the blonde creates a clone to start on some chicken and noodles. Yeah, and thank Kami they are furnished, but I'll need to go shopping, she says. I can take you, Kurenai says and Karen nods. Karen told us. Kusa sent people after you, Yugao asks and Naruto nods. Several Anbu but they failed. Kusa will probably put me in the bingo books. Meaning other nations will take notice, Naruto replies. You won't be in the Chunin exams, Anko states and Naruto shrugs. Oh well. I'm sure Gramps will find me something to do, Naruto muses and all of them nod, eventually going to eat dinner with stories. 2 weeks later. Well, my kawaii Genin and Chunin. Since Sasuke and Hinata have done well with their tree walking, we'll take a simple C-rank mission, Kakashi says. Are you sure that is wise, senpai? They've been Genin for only a month or so, Naruto comments. He's now wearing a black Anbu cargo pants, combat boots, a form-fitting black shirt with silver sleeves and suspenders. A high-collar white jacket that buttons near the right shoulder, having black trim with 2 tails and a red scarf around his neck. I think they are. Besides, they have both of us, Kakashi says, as they make their way to the mission hall. Our Team 7 another D-rank mission, Hiruzen states, but Kakashi shakes his head. No, Hokage-sama. We're here for a C-rank mission, Kakashi says, and Iruka gasps, about to say something, but Hiruzen raises his hand. Well, we did have one come in. Iruka, go fetch Tazuna, Hiruzen says, and Iruka reluctantly nods, excusing himself. A few minutes later, Iruka comes back with an older man with gray hair and glasses, a straw hat tied around his neck. He wears a sleeveless V-neck shirt with an obi, pants and a pair of sandals. Is this the team that will escort me back to Nami? Tazuna says, and Hiruzen nods. Kakashi reads the mission parameters and turns to his team. This will be escort mission. Pack for an extended mission and meet at the main gate in 1 hour, he orders, and the 3 nod, excusing themselves. So how have they been doing? Hiruzen asks. Sasuke is getting the hang of tree walking along with Hinata starting water walking. However, Sasuke is showing frustration when it concerns Naruto, Kakashi starts. Hiruzen sighs and leans back in his chair. I'm sure Naruto-kun is antagonizing Sasuke-kun, he says. The opposite. Sasuke tries to goad Naruto, but it fails each time and he grows frustrated. I've been keeping him occupied with training, but it only works so much, Kakashi finishes. And Hinata? Hiruzen asks. She has expressed no interest in ninjutsu, but she is focused on Naruto. Hokage-sama, I feel like Hinata may know Naruto's secret and not his paler features, Kakashi replies. Hiruzen cups his chin in thought. Keep an eye on her and inform Naruto as well, he states, and Kakashi nods, vanishing with Leaf Shunshin. Konoha main gate. Hinata stands with a backpack on her back with her eyes closed in wait for her team, as she was first to arrive with the client. Over the past 2 weeks she has been trying to unravel the mystery that is Naruto. He had saved her from bullies when they were children, but her clan admonished her on associating with him. However, she often watched the boy and saw he was foolish, but everything changed when he vanished 3 years ago. Hey, what's up with your blonde teammate? He's odd, Tazuna says, shaking Hinata from her thoughts. She opens her eyes to see Naruto approaching with sunglasses over his eyes and his hands pocketed. I do not know Tazuna-san, Hinata comments. Naruto took his place next to Hinata, but he had no backpack. You have no gear, she asks, but Naruto taps his cargo pocket. Sealed away in storage scrolls. Better convenience, Naruto comments. Hinata recloses her eyes in thought. I will need your power, Naruto. The power of a Jinchuriki to unseat my father as head of the clan, she thought. A few minutes pass and Sasuke appears with his own backpack, followed by Kakashi about 20 minutes later. All right, team. This is first mission outside the village. Keep your eyes open and senses sharp. We should encounter bandits or highwaymen. So be ready, Kakashi says, and all of them nod, as they leave the village a civilian's pace. The mood is quiet for a time with the sound their breathing and nature's noises. I'll scout ahead, Naruto says, breaching the silence. Don't be reckless, Kakashi says and Naruto nods, vanishing with a seamless shunshin. The remains of Team 7 and Tazuna continue along their trek to Nami no Kuni. Tazuna-san, why did you come to Konoha for an escort? Hinata asks. Tazuna wipes his brow and takes a swig from his flask. Well, Nami doesn't have a shinobi village. I'm building a bridge to the mainland. So I came to the nearest one, he explains. The group continues on, but Naruto appears in front of them in a crouch with his chokuto across his back, but all of them see blood on his cheek. Naruto. Kakashi states. Naruto rises to his full height but shifts his gaze to Tazuna with a blank look. Up ahead was an ambush. 2 missing nin from Kirigakure. The demon brothers, he says. Why would 2 missing nin would be setting an ambush? Kakashi questions and Naruto points to Tazuna. They were after him. They were hired by a man called Gato, Naruto explains and Tazuna clenches his fists. Tazuna starts to explain the situation in Nami, from Gato entering the country, killing his son-in-law and ruining their country, bringing the country to near collapse. This breaks our mission parameters. If we continue, a Jonin will come next, and with 2 genin I can't in good conscience continue this mission, Kakashi says, but looks to Naruto, as Tazuna tries to hide his fears of being abandoned. However, between Naruto and myself, we should be able to survive, but I want your opinions, Kakashi says, turning his attention to Sasuke and Hinata. We should continue. I need to test my skills, Sasuke says, curtly. I agree we should continue but also call for backup, Hinata states. Kakashi cups his chin in thought and looks to Naruto. Alright, I'll send word to Hokage-sama. However, this bumps the mission to at least A rank, he says. Thank you all, Tazuna says. Team 7 continues towards Nami as Kakashi's Inu summon Pakken heads back to Konoha with a message for the Hokage. Nami no Kuni. Team 7 sees the imposing bridge as they cross the water in a small boat. Impressive, Naruto muses. Thank you. It's our chance for freedom from Gato, Tazuna says. The boat soon reaches the coast as a thick mist passes through. Hard to see, Sasuke comments, as they reach land. Nami is surrounded by the ocean, it creates thick mist, Tazuna says, as they make their way through the forest towards his home. The mist gives way to open area, but suddenly Sasuke tosses a kunai into the bushes as a white rabbit scampers out. Kakashi's eye narrows with a look to Naruto. The coat is wrong, Kakashi thought, but gasps. Everyone down, he shouts, tackling Tazuna. A massive sword sails into their line of sight as everyone ducks but Naruto, who raises his boot and shoots it forward with a loud clang as his boot collides with the sword. A clone pops to life and grabs the massive sword and heaves it towards a tree with a dispel, but a tall man lands on it with his back to them. He has a muscular frame with light grayish skin, short spiky black hair, dark brown eyes, and small eyebrows. Well, if it isn't Zabuza Momoki, Kakashi says. Zabuza keeps his eyes between Naruto and Kakashi. Quite impressive for a Chunin to throw my Kubikiri Bocho, Zabuza says. Kakashi reaches for his Haitai 8 and Zabuza chuckles. Oh, I get to see the famed Sharingan of Kakashi no Sharingan. I am honored, Zabuza says. Sharingan. He's not one of my clan. Sasuke thought. Kakashi reveals his famed eye with a serious look. Team protect Tazuna, he orders. Hinata and Sasuke each pull out a kunai as Naruto pulls out a pair of trench knives, but Zabuza laughs, squatting down on the hilt of his sword. To see the famed copy ninja's Sharingan so soon. You must be slipping, Zabuza sneers, as more mist starts to roll in. Zabuza suddenly kicks off the tree and lands on a small lake near them, before raising a half-ram sign and the mist grows thicker. Ninpo, Kirigako no Jutsu, Zabuza utters and vanishes into the mist. Hinata activates her Byakugan, but the mist is laden with chakra and hides Zabuza from them. Now which points should I strike first? Zabuza says, seemingly from everywhere. Thick ki washes over the area as Zabuza continues to taunt with the 8 points, but Sasuke, Tazuna and Hinata were not faring very well. Damn it. What is this? I should end it to escape this, Sasuke thought. His eyes flicker and slow points his kunai at his throat. Naruto suddenly smacks the kunai from his hand. Get it together, team, he hisses, but notices his eyes. Ho. A measly chunin can withstand my bloodlust, Zabuza says, suddenly appearing behind them with his sword raises, but his head leaves his shoulders. However, instead of blood it was water, as Zabuza becomes a puddle of water, while Kakashi unleashes his ki to counter Zabuza. Senpai in front, Naruto shouts. Kakashi dodges the real Zabuza's wide swing and lands in front of his team. Impressive chunin, Zabuza sneers and Naruto grins. Kakashi shoots forward to engage Zabuza in a macabre dance of death as the Team 7 and Tazuna watch, but the vampire sighs. Zabuza manages a Spartan kick to Kakashi and sending him crashing onto a lake. It's over, Zabuza sneers, appearing behind Kakashi with his hands out. Suiten, Suiro no Jutsu, Zabuza utters and Kakashi gasps. The water gurgles and forms a large orb of water around Kakashi. Damn it, I got careless, he thought. Naruto. It's your turn, Kakashi shouts, shocking everyone but Naruto. You owe me then, senpai, Naruto shouts, and a clone pops to life. What are you doing, Dobe? Sasuke shouts. I'm going to free senpai, Naruto says. Zabuza starts to laugh as Naruto moves forward. You think some chunin can beat me? When you couldn't, he sneers, creating 3 Mizu Bunshin. Your kid's playing ninja, Zabuza says, making the mist thicker, but Naruto grins wide. The blonde vampire enters the mist and 2 clones pop to life to keep the mist thick as he steps on the lake. They are but me. Nor, Naruto says. He shoots forward with his left trench knife aimed as one the clones reaches him, but it collapses into water from a wide swing of Naruto's futon-enhanced knife. The 2 remaining clones swing their swords, forcing Naruto to leap and dive to dodge them, and slamming his right hand on the water, but the blonde tosses his trench knife towards the real Zabuza. Hey, too slow, Zabuza sneers, leaping over the knife, but Naruto smirks. Zabuza gasps as the second knife was streaking towards him as his clones collapse into water from Naruto's chains, forcing him to release Kakashi to swing his sword, but Naruto substitutes with the knife for a delayed dropkick. Zabuza grunts as he kicked towards the opposite side of the lake, but he corrects and lands in a crouch. Kakashi staggers to his feet as Naruto nears him. I'll finish this, senpai, the blonde says. I got careless, Kakashi says. Zabuza narrows his eyes as Naruto slowly and methodically approaches. You're no ordinary chunin, he says. Of course. You may have heard of my alias. Kukatsuki, Naruto says, and Zabuza's breath hitches, but a laugh escapes his lips. Vampire. HMM interesting, Zabuza says and starts a rapid set signs, but gasps as Naruto was matching him, stopping at bird. Suiten, Suiruden no Jutsu, both shout. The water gurgles and swirls to form 2 dragons with golden eyes, before crashing into each other as Naruto draws Chokuto and swings to block Zabuza's Kubakiri Bocho. How the hell did you match me? Zabuza shouts. Naruto grins as both backpedal into a full circle run and matches Zabuza perfectly. Who knows? He mocks, angering the swordsmen of the mist. Naruto tosses his sword and flashes several signs to stop at Snake, Futon, Daytopper, he intones, blasting a gust of wind. Zabuza jerks as he tossed back by the gust of wind, sending him through the forest and into a tree. Ah! Zabuza shouts, as a Naruto's knife embeds into his right leg. Naruto appears with a shunshin as Zabuza glares, but he gasps as a Sharingan was in Naruto's right eye but blue. A Sharingan but a chow. Zabuza hisses. Naruto grins wide and shows his teeth. Sorry, but those who lay witness to my secrets do not live to tell the tale, he says and raises his left arm. Zabuza gasps and his eyes widen as Naruto's arm turns into thick tendrils with mouths on the end as he slowly moves forward. Zabuza-sama. A voice call out. Naruto whips his head left as a masked ninja appears but smirks. Too late, he howls. Haku. Zabuza shouts, as the masked ninja is pierced by the tendrils and spraying blood. Zabuza quickly rips the knife from his leg and slams it into Naruto's head from the right, crumpling the vampire, but he has no time to gloat as Kakashi appears. Damn it! Another time copy ninja, Zabuza hisses, vanishing with a Mizu Shunshin. Kakashi sighs and shifts his gaze to Naruto. Naruto, he says, seeing the wide-eyed look. ONES second, Naruto says, grabbing the knife and wrenching it from his head. He slowly sits up with a roll of his neck but shifts his gaze to the masked ninja named Haku. Seems Zabuza had help, Naruto says. Their mask has fallen off to reveal an effeminate boy around Naruto's age with a look of shock forever etched on his face. My clone will take you to the others. I'll catch up, Naruto says. Right. I can feel unconsciousness coming on, Kakashi says, wearily. The clone drapes Kakashi's right arm over his shoulder and makes his way through the mist. Naruto pulls the corpse of Haku closer and starts to absorb the body into his own. Interesting a Hyoten user, he says, grinning. Scene break. Tazuna's home. Hinata keeps watch over Kakashi as the latter is recovering from chakra exhaustion, with Naruto keeping watch and Sasuke downstairs. Tazuna's daughter Tsunami and grandson Inari were cordial to them, but the boys seem be standoffish towards them. Footsteps catch her attention and it is Tsunami. Hyuga-san, any change? She asks, her dark blue hair hanging free. Still unconscious. Thank you for asking, Hinata says and Tsunami smiles. I'll bring some tea, Tsunami says, excusing himself. Hinata moves closer to the open window and her thoughts drift to Naruto. Unlike most people her age, she knew Naruto's secret, having overheard her father and clan elders discussing that Naruto was the jailer of the dreaded Kyubi no Yoko. The very beast that attacked their village 16 years ago and taken the life of Lord Forth and scores of others. They told us the creature was dead, but it is walking around free and clear, Hinata thought. A groan echoes and Hinata looks to see Kakashi waking up. How are you feeling, sensei? She says. Kakashi gives a weak eye smile. Where's Naruto and Sasuke? He asks. Naruto is patrolling and Sasuke is downstairs. Sensei, tell me, is Zabuza alive or dead? Hinata states. Unfortunately, Zabuza is still alive. Before Naruto could deliver the finishing blow, his accomplice arrived and allowed him to escape, but he's injured and it's a serious one, Kakashi explains. Well, it is a good thing we came so quickly, a voice says, and both see Kurenai. The raven hair vampiress wears a nylon, black, full bodysuit with a red mesh armor blouse with only the right sleeve visible and a dress that resembles bandages with a pattern on it similar to those of rose thorns, with ankle-length closed-toe boots. That was fast, Kakashi says. I ran my team pretty hard. Sakura collapsed as soon as we arrived, Kurenai explains and glances to Hinata. I saw Sasuke, but where is Naruto? Kurenai adds. He's patrolling, Kakashi replies and Kurenai slowly nods, then he proceeds to explain the situation as it stands. Scene break. Naruto sits on the roof of Tazuna's seaside home with a cigarette in his mouth, but a sweet scent catches his nose as he looks at the night sky. So how is your team? Naruto asks. Weak except for Shino, he shows promise. Kiba was hard for me the moment he saw me. Genma did his best with what he had, but Sakura is pathetic, Kurenai explains, and Naruto makes a face. Kurenai takes a seat in Naruto's lap. Karen told me a student of my guy came by, she adds, and Naruto sighs, pulling her closer. Show me, Naruto says, before pulling her bodysuit and biting her neck. Kurenai moans as Naruto sinks his fangs in, but Naruto puts up his wrist, allowing her to bite him, and both vampires sharing memories. Tenten is prying again, Naruto thought, pulling back. Kurenai continues to drink from his wrist, but the blonde pulls it away. I didn't know you knew her, she says, cleaning her mouth. At the orphanage. Plus I saved her team last year. She saw me using my Colt and became infatuated with it being a weapons mistress, Naruto muses. You can imagine if such a weapon got into the hands of lesser people, Naruto adds. I know, a terrible thought. So when do we go after Gato? Kurenai asks, as the blonde wraps his arms around her slender waist. Naruto rests his chin on her shoulder with sigh, tomorrow night. I'll sleep all day, then we'll kill him and take over his company. We'll need capital if things go south, he says, and Kurenai rests her head on his. We're with you, Kurenai says, and Naruto smiles. Of course, my lovely raven, Naruto muses, and Kurenai giggles. The morning came too soon for the vampires, and Naruto used a lie of guarding the house to sleep the day away, staying away from Sakura and Kiba. Kurenai used her genjutsu to hide that Naruto was sleeping in a coffin and shows him in a bed. She leaves the room and heads to meet the others, but stops in her tracks. Screw that, I sleeping with Naruto. Being awake is annoying, Kurenai thought, and made a reinforced shadow clone. Kurenai returns to the room and see Naruto holding up the coffin lid. I figured you would want to sleep, he muses, and she climbs in. Where's Narubaka? A voice screeches and both vampires sigh. How do you put up with her? Naruto says, closing the coffin. Kurenai sighs with her head in his chest. I'm tempted to use genjutsu on her, but that would be wrong, she says, and Naruto rubs her back, in comfort. Nightfall. Several guards stand in front of Gato's mansion discussing nothing in particular, but suddenly pink rose petals starts fill the air. What is this? One says, holding out his hand to catch one. However, the other collapses with a smoking hole in his forehead, shocking the first guard, but he couldn't contemplate anything more as a kunai was rammed into his throat. Kurenai appears out the shadows and wrenches the kunai free, guiding the man to the ground as she drinks his blood. Naruto slowly appears as a mist starts to creep into the compound. Do you have the layout? He asks, as Kurenai was licking the rest of the blood from the kunai. I do, Kurenai says. Naruto creates nearly 3 dozen shadow clones and Kurenai creates a dozen, spread out. Cast a large area genjutsu. No need for any of them to escape, he orders, and the clones vanish, as Kurenai weaves signs to slowly fade away. Naruto leaps over the gate and shoots across the ground to the main house as his and Kurenai's clo.